from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
A very good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. I am Malsha Dalmavardhana.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines.
The President stresses the importance of having strong Indo-Sri Lanka economic partnership. The Indo-Sri Lanka Economic Partnership Vision has been declared, giving prominence to 5 sectors. The Indo-Sri Lanka multi-product fuel pipeline will be set up. Trincomalee will be made a power and energy hub. A person who set Hakkapata traps in the Padavia Forest Reserve has been arrested. The first program of the Dengue Prevention National Move commences. The US has accepted the provision of cluster bombs to Ukraine.
Well, moving on to the stories in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, on his maiden official visit to India after assuming presidency, conveyed a resolved commitment to strengthen the bilateral ties between India and Sri Lanka.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the importance of a strong Indo-Sri Lanka economic partnership in the discussion held with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The President of Sri Lanka agreed to develop relations in 5 areas: maritime, aviation, electric power and energy, trade, economic and financial affairs, and personal relations. The meeting between the leaders were held this morning at the Hyderabad Palace in New Delhi. Bilateral official discussions between the delegations of the 2 countries started under the leadership of the 2 leaders. Areas that can strengthen Indo-Sri Lanka relations and how economic cooperation can be developed are among the main points of focus in the discussion. Later, President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the media.
I am honored to be in New Delhi at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is my first visit to India since assuming office as President last year, and it's a visit to which myself and my government attaches the highest importance. I thank the Prime Minister Modi and the Government of India for the hospitality extended to me and to my delegation. Prime Minister Modi and I had the occasion to review at length recent developments in our countries as well as in our bilateral relations. I have congratulated Prime Minister Modi on the great strides India continues to make under his leadership in economic, infrastructure and technological progress in ensuring growth and prosperity to the people of India. We believe that India's growth will be beneficial to the neighborhood and the Indian Ocean region. I have also appraised Prime Minister Modi of the extraordinary challenges that Sri Lanka has experienced in economic, social and political terms in the past year, and of the reform measures I have spearheaded on a number of fronts in overcoming these challenges. I have conveyed to Prime Minister Modi and to the government and the people of India a profound appreciation for the solidarity and support rendered to Sri Lanka in what was undoubtedly the most challenging period in our modern history. Friends, in reviewing recent developments in Sri Lanka, I shared with Prime Minister Modi my commitment to bring about economic recovery leading to sustainable and stable growth with justice and equity, which will benefit all segments of Sri Lankan society in all parts of the country. In moving forward, I have explained that I have set Sri Lanka firmly on a path of economic reform, and that Sri Lanka is already witnessing the stabilizing outcomes of these measures and the revival of confidence internally and externally in the progress of the country. I also shared with him the comprehensive proposal I presented this week for furthering reconciliation, power sharing through devolution, and the multiple elements of the Northern Development Plan, I have invited all party leaders in Parliament to work towards consensus and national unity on these measures. Thereafter, the government will place relevant legislation before Parliament. Prime Minister Modi has expressed his solidarity and goodwill in these endeavours. Friends, we now need to put our economy on a growth path, bringing greater revenue for the country, which requires enhanced investment in all parts of the country. As a supportive and solid foundation for realizing of these objectives, we have agreed on the joint vision of future India-Sri Lanka economic partnership through enhanced connectivity. I believe that my visit to India has provided an opportunity to review our bilateral relationship, leverage the strength of geographical and civilization links, reinforce trust and confidence for our future prosperity in the modern world. I am confident that the discussion we had today will lay the foundation for the next 25 years of Indo-Lanka relations and contribute to my vision for sustainable growth, national unity and reconciliation for all segments of people of Sri Lanka, and a prosperous and a secure future for the people of India and Sri Lanka. And let me in conclusion, Prime Minister Modi, thank you and the government for the invaluable support you gave us at the time of crisis.
Ayubavan, Vanakkam, Maharashtrapati.
Indian Prime Minister Modi announced that a passenger ferry service will be launched soon to connect Tamil Nadu's Nagapattinam and northern Sri Lanka's Kankasanture. He said that they have decided to fast-track the work of connecting the electricity grids of both countries. He also announced the feasibility studies for building a land bridge as well as for a petroleum pipeline. Prime Minister Modi informed that the two sides discussed the issue of fishermen and urged the matter should be viewed through a humanitarian perspective. He further informed that both sides have held talks on a number of infrastructure projects that can ensure great connectivity between the two sides and announced a development assistance package for the Tamils of Indian origin who are marking 200th anniversary of their arrival into the island nation. He said that they took up the issue of the reconstruction and reconciliation in Sri Lanka and said that they hope that Sri Lanka's government will fulfill the aspiration of the Tamil people. He also said that they expect that Colombo will take forward the process of reconstruction and ensurety of equality, justice and peace, and hope that Sri Lanka will fulfill its commitment to implement the 13th Amendment and to hold the provincial elections. In the meantime, President Ranil Wickremesinghe was hosted by the Indian Minister of External Affairs, Dr. Subramaniam Jayashankar, yesterday. National Security Advisor of India, Ajit Doval, met Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe in New Delhi today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe met Indian billionaire Gautam Adani to explore multiple range of projects in Sri Lanka. In a Twitter post, Adani revealed that discussions covered the ongoing development of Colombo Port Western Container Terminal, a 500-megawatt wind project, and the expansion of their renewable energy expertise to produce green hydrogen.
Meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe met Indian President Draupadi Murmu this evening. The meeting of the two presidents was held at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. The two leaders focused their attention on a number of bilateral issues at this discussion. The Indo-Sri Lanka Economic Partnership vision was declared today following the discussion held between President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Leaders of both countries have instructed the relevant officials to be committed to achieve a rapid progress in this vision with the objective of having wider growth and prosperity between the two countries and within the region as well. Both leaders have expressed their agreement for the partnership vision launched under 5 sectors of marine affairs, aviation relations, power and electricity connection, trade, economic and financial relations, and personnel relations. According to the two countries will focus attention to 2 matters to strengthen marine relations between the 2 countries. The 2 countries will work mutually to develop infrastructure facilities in Colombo, Trincomalee and Kankisature harbours with the aim of consolidating regional supplies and naval affairs. The passenger ferry service between Kankisature and Nagapattinam in India will be recommenced. Attention was also focused to start ferry services between Talaimannar and other agreed destinations. 2 matters have been highlighted to strengthen aviation relations. The recommenced Chennai-Jaffna flights will be extended to Colombo. Possibility of checking to start flights from Chennai to Trincomalee, Batticaloa and several other Sri Lankan destinations, and also infrastructure development in the Palali airport and investment in the civil aviation sector has also been included in this agreement. Attention has been focused to 6 matters in order to confirm the connection of power and energy and electricity. Accordingly, an interrelation will be set up at high-capacity power and energy network between India and Sri Lanka. Sampur Solar Power Project and LNG infrastructure facilities agreement will be also signed and implemented. Survey of green hydrogen and ammonia in Sri Lanka is another matter of the agreement. The Trincomalee area will be further developed as a national and regional hub of industries, power and energy and economic activities is also included in the agreement. In addition, the 2 countries will work mutually to construct a multi-product petroleum pipeline from South India to Sri Lanka. They also agreed to conduct a joint exploration for hydrocarbon manufacturing in the coastal basins in Sri Lanka. Attention also focused on 5 matters to strengthen trade, economic and financial relations. They have agreed to provide facilities for the investors of both countries with reasonable and mutual approach. Facilities will also be given to Indian investors to develop Sri Lanka's state-owned enterprises in economic zones and other sectors in Sri Lanka. Having discussions on economic and technological cooperation agreement is also a matter included in the vision. The 2 countries agreed to use Indian rupee as a monetary unit to conduct trade deals between the 2 countries. The Indian rupee will also be utilized for digital payments. They have also agreed to use the digital common infrastructure of India to provide citizen-centered services of Sri Lanka in a more productive and efficient manner. Attention was also focused on the sections to confirm the personnel relations, public awareness and programs over Buddhist and Hindu and other religious places in both countries will be carried out with the aim of promoting tourism industry. New higher educational and vocational training institutes will be set up in Sri Lanka. Cooperation between the educational institutes of both countries will also be explored. The inter-cooperation between research and educational institutes of both countries is also included in the economic partnership vision. A feasibility study will be done in the future to construct a land connection between India and Sri Lanka. The 2 leaders of India and Sri Lanka instructed the officials to take necessary actions to achieve a rapid progress in this partnership vision.
Indian Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra says that the process to enhance transport connections between Sri Lanka and India will become prominent. He made this comment explaining the importance of President Ranil Wickremesinghe's Indian tour.
In terms of the substance of the discussions and the outcomes which resulted from the visit, you would have all hopefully watched the deliberations relating to the exchange of agreements and also the press remarks by the 2 leaders thereafter. The Honorable Prime Minister and President of Sri Lanka during their discussions reviewed the entire spectrum of our bilateral relations, and they both acknowledged that the partnership and our cooperation has been a source of great strength in overcoming the recent difficulties and challenges in Sri Lanka. The 2 leaders also outlined a common vision of theirs to further develop the bilateral relationship in coming years, centered around enhanced, extended and deepened connectivity and deeper economic partnership. The sense of specifics of what the vision of connectivity related future partnership is, it is captured and reflected in a comprehensive joint vision document which is centered on connectivity that both the leaders have agreed upon, and it covers various dimensions of connectivity: maritime, air connectivity, energy connectivity, power, trade and economic connectivity, financial connectivity, digital connectivity, and also resulting people-to-people engagement.
And now, news at home. A minor earth tremor has been reported in the Buttala area this morning, and the residents say that they have not felt the tremor like the earlier occurred tremors in the area. Well, this tremor has been sensed by some people in the Buttala, Unawatuna and Maduranketiya and Badalkumbara areas at about 9 or 6 a.m. today. This has been reported in the Richter scale as 2.6. Assistant Director of the Monagal District Disaster Management Unit, Ravindra Kumar, says that no aftershocks have been reported so far. However, information is being gathered at present. Senior Professor Atul Senaratna says that the tremor has occurred in an inactive plate boundary area that has been identified earlier. Therefore, this tremor can be categorized as a minor jerk occurred in the inactive plate area. Therefore, no damage will occur due to this jerk. However, these minor incidents will lead to strengthen our database, he says. Then geologists will be able to have a good understanding regarding the tremors occurred in Sri Lanka. Well, a person who sets explosive devices called hakkapatas targeting wild animals in Tissamaharama Padavi Forest Reserve in Kabadigullava has been taken into custody by a group of youths in the area.
The suspect was handed over to the Kabadigullava police last evening. Meanwhile, providing treatment to the injured tusker, Akbo, is being continued. Padaviya Forest Reserve is an area where a large number of wild elephants and other wild animals roam. Many persons have used to set explosive devices called hakkapatas to hunt wild animals. A group of youth in the area have arrived in the forest reserve to get photos of wild animals. At that time, they have seen the suspect setting explosive devices. Soon, they have taken steps to capture the suspect and handed over him to the police. Police is to produce him before the courts to take legal actions. A large number of elephant calves lost their lives consuming hakkapatas explosive devices. In many instances, domestic animals such as cows and dogs are also subjected to these explosive traps. Animals face huge suffering prior to death because of these devices. Environmentalists point out, therefore, this inhuman activity should be stopped at the right of the initiation, and stern legal action should be taken against these culprits. Wildlife officers gave treatment to the injured tusker Akbo, saying in Thirappane area for 15th time yesterday. Officials of the Pandulagama Veterinarian Treatment Unit said that a stock of antibiotics sent from England were injected to the elephant yesterday. The wildlife officials say that they have ample stocks of required medicines and the elephant is being monitored 24 hours. Treatment of Tusker Akbo commenced on the 12th of last month, and the officials say that treatment will continue until the elephant reach full recovery. Some persons reach the area to view the elephant, and it has become a problem for the wildlife elephants in the treatment process. Now, the first program of the national move to prevent the spread of dengue mosquitoes commenced today in the areas of Colombo, Ananda College premises and Maradana railway station.
Well, this has been jointly organized by the National Television and the Mortein Company. The aim of this program is to educate school children and also people regarding the prevention of the spreading of the dengue mosquitoes. Well, we are able to let any mosquito destroy our lives. and that's not a good thing. And therefore, the national television joined hands with the Maltese company to prevent breeding of dengue mosquitoes. The opening ceremony of this national operation was held on the 20th of June from the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation premises. Well, this is the first stage of this program, and accordingly, our teams came to the Maradana railway station to deliver handouts, clean the environment, and also educate the general public over this matter. Prior to this move, we brought students of 6 schools in the area to the Ananda College premises, and an awareness program was held to educate the students on the dengue menace.
The Banking Special Provisions Bill was passed in Parliament today with amendments. The debate on the second reading of the bill was held from 10:30 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. The bill was passed after the incorporation of the respective amendments at the committee stage held thereafter.
Well, the no-confidence motion against Health Minister Keheliya Rambukwella was handed over to Speaker today by the Samagi Jana Balawege. 45 parliamentarians have signed this no-confidence motion. It was handed over to the Speaker by a group of parliamentarians of the Samagi Jana Balawege headed by General Secretary Ranjit Maddum Bandara. Views were expressed regarding this no-confidence motion at several media briefings held today. Samagi Jana Balawege parliamentarian Ashok Abhisinghe says that the Health Minister, as the head of the ministry, should be accountable for importing substandard and unregistered drugs and medicines to the island. Sunil Handuneti of the National People's Power says that the crisis cannot be solved by removing the Health Minister through a no-confidence motion and appointing another person as the Minister. The entire government should take responsibility of this crisis. It is important to express that the no-confidence motion against the government rather than the ministers. Sri Lanka Pudujana Peruvian parliamentarian S.M. Chandrasena says that some elements conspired against President Gotabaya Rajapaksa during his period. Gas cylinders burst in many areas, causing the Aragale against the government. This can also be a conspiracy against the government, he says.
Dr. Minister Bandula Gunawardena engaged in surveillance tour at the Kotaliya Bridge at Manampitiya in Polonnaruwa today. The minister stated that all necessary arrangements have been taken to prevent accidents occurred at the bridge. Over 30 persons have lost their lives due to road accidents occurred in this place. 11 persons were killed as a bus fell into the river at the bridge recently. State Minister Siripala Gamlat and several others were present at this observation tour at the site of the bridge. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that this place has been a dangerous area for over a long period. A huge sum of capital is to be spent to construct this bridge. There are several such bridges along this road. We have observed all such places and decided to inform the motorists to drive with care along this road until depth restructuring process will complete. Then we can give priority to these matters. Until then, all temporary precautionary measures have been taken. Now, Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa says that new commission that will be established through passing of anti-corruption bill will be an independent commission that cannot be influenced by executives or the legislative. This bill has relevant provisions for the commission to be independent. Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa said that the bill had been included required provisions for this commission to act independently. It is also independent in its administrative process and conducting investigations as well. The President can only appoint the 3 members to the Commission under the full recommendations given by the Constitutional Council. Under the existing bill, the Director General of the Bribery Commission has no sufficient powers. Though the new bill, the Commission will have no enormous powers to act against the incidents of the bribery or corruption. The Minister added that the special provision has been included with regard to the Sports Association. For the first time, provision has also been included to take action against sexual bribery.
The second session of the bilateral political consultations between Sri Lanka and Egypt was held in Colombo recently. Well, the meeting was co-chaired by State Minister Tharaka Balasuriya and Assistant Minister for Assistant Affairs of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Egypt, Ayman Kamel. Sri Lanka and Egypt mutually agreed to
These consultations are being held for the second time. The last time we had it in Cairo in 2019, Your Excellency, and we were supposed to have the consultations in 2021, but due to COVID and other reasons that we were not able to have it. I wish to greet His Excellency Mayad Moshel, the Ambassador of Egypt in Colombo. He's one of the most active ambassadors in the circuit, and we have a very close relationship. And also the Councillor Muhammad Mahdi of the embassy who are with us today. I also wish to greet our Ambassador in Egypt, His Excellency K. Padmanathan, and his team who are joining us virtually from Cairo.
Assuming my position as Assistant Foreign Minister for Asia, I was keen on trying to strengthen and solidify bilateral relations between our two countries, and I was trying to look for the suitable occasion to hold these political consultations actually since a little bit over a year due to the events that took place both in the world and in Sri Lanka, and also we are just coming out from the negative effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Exchange of high-level visits were not at all satisfactory for both of us, but as soon as it was possible to resume these contacts, I did not hesitate in requesting holding these consultations. We highly value our bilateral relations. We celebrated last year the 65th anniversary, the establishment of diplomatic ties between our two countries. I believe that we still have a lot to do. Maybe we did not have the suitable opportunity so far and enough chance to materialize and showcase the depth and all the potential of the bilateral relations, but it's never too late. There is always a fresh start, and I hope that these consultations will represent this golden opportunity for both of our relevant authorities to engage together in a very rich and fruitful relationship. I hope that throughout these consultations we can put a roadmap for the coming years and trying to highlight and find out strong points in our similarities and common priorities that would let us hand in hand achieve the prosperity and the progress of our people.
Well, that's news at home, and we take a short break. We'll be back with international stories shortly.
Prima Katami Fantamai.
Welcome back to the news. We are moving on to news overseas. Well, White House has confirmed that Ukraine is using U.S. cluster bombs against Russian forces in the country. U.S. authorities say that the initial feedback suggested that they were being used effectively on Russian defense positions and operations. Well, cluster bombs are reported to scatter multiple bomblets and are banned by more than 100 states due to their threat to civilians. The U.S. has agreed to supply them to boost Ukrainian ammunition supplies. Ukraine has promised the bombs will only be used to dislodge concentrations of Russian enemy soldiers. The U.S. has decided to send cluster bombs after Ukraine warned that it was running out of ammunition during its summer counter-offensive.
Prima Katami Fantamai.
Taking a look at your sports news, Pakistan emerging team won the first semi-final match of the emerging Asian Champion Cricket Tournament against the Sri Lankan emerging team. The match was played at Pisara Oval Grounds in Colombo today.
Batting first, Pakistan A team scored 322 all out in the 50 overs. Omar Usuf scored 88. Lahiru Samrakon, Pramod Madhushan and Chamika Karunaratne claimed 2 wickets each. Chasing a victory target of 323, Sri Lanka A team could only score 262. Both Avishka Fernando and Sahan Arachage scored 97 each. Arshad Iqbal claimed 5 Sri Lankan wickets. Accordingly, Pakistan A team qualified for the final match of the emerging Asian Championship Cricket Tournament.
Prima Katami Bantamai.
That's it on Rupavahini News. Do join us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.